Hello viewers, welcome to Newsweek South Asia, a show where we will provide you fresh insights into South Asia's geopolitical, strategic and security situation. Let's begin the show with the headlines first. Terrorists ambush Indian Army convoy in Jammu and Kashmir, 5 soldiers killed. Protesters at UN demand action for missing Hindu girl in Pakistan. And violent clashes erupt in Balochistan's Quetta as Pakistani police crack down on protesters demanding justice for missing persons. Terror strikes again in Jammu and Kashmir as terrorists target an Indian Army convoy in Kathua district, claiming 5 lives and injuring 6. This attack, claimed by the Kashmir Tigers, a shadow outfit of Jaish-e-Mohammed, Pakistan-based terror organization, underscores Islamabad's relentless strategy to export terror and disrupt peace in India. Despite international condemnation, Pakistan persists in nurturing these terror groups, endangering countless lives and destabilizing the region. Our report will tell you more.
On July 8, terrorists launched a deadly ambush on an Indian Army convoy in Jammu and Kashmir's Kathua district. The attack resulted in the deaths of at least 5 soldiers and left 6 others injured.
हम अंदर शब्द दे रहे हैं तो एट ए टाइम फायर हुआ, छोटा फिर बड़ा हो गया। तो हमने जो अंदर आदमी 4-5 बैठे, हमने गाड़ी का आर्मी वाले को गाड़ी का टायर पंचर हो गया, क्योंकि गाड़ी तो हमने देखी थी, गाड़ी जा रही थी। उसके बाद एट ए टाइम फायरिंग शुरू होगी। आपने बाहर निकल? नहीं, हमने बाहर नहीं निकले।
The terrorists targeted the army vehicles on a routine patrol along the Machedi-Kindli-Malhar road by hurling grenades and opening fire. The injured soldiers were initially treated at the community medical center in Kathua before being transferred to the military hospital in Pathankot for further care.
5 injured. They are shifted to MH Hospital, Pathankot. And 1 dead body is received and 4 are battered.
In response, the army returned fire, but the terrorists managed to escape into the nearby forest. According to army officials, 3 terrorists were involved in the attack. The Kashmir Tigers, a shadow outfit of the banned Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed, claimed responsibility. A search operation is currently underway. This attack is part of a recent surge in terror activities. Just a day earlier, on July 7, an army camp in Rajouri district was attacked, injuring 1 soldier. In another incident in Kashmir's Kulgam district, 6 terrorists and 2 soldiers were killed in separate encounters.
कंफर्मेशन के हिसाब से दो अलग-अलग एनकाउंटर साइट्स पे एनकाउंटर्स हुए हैं। बॉडी की कंफर्मेशन के हिसाब से 6 आतंकियों का मारे जाने का खबर है।
These attacks underscore a troubling increase in terrorist activities in Jammu and Kashmir. Last month saw 3 terror attacks within 3 days. One such attack targeted a bus full of pilgrims in the Riyasi district, killing 9 people. The following day, terrorists targeted a joint checkpost of the 4 Rashtriya Rifle in Doda district, leading to a fierce encounter that injured 5 Indian Army soldiers and a special police officer. As Doda dealt with the aftermath, another attack occurred inside the village Kathua district. Villagers alerted authorities to the presence of terrorists, resulting in a gunfight that left 1 terrorist and a paramilitary soldier dead. Reports indicate that the Kashmir Tigers and the Resistant Front, a unit of the banned Lashkar-e-Taiba, are behind the increasing terror activities in the Union Territory. Moreover, these attacks are a stark reminder of Pakistan's ongoing strategy to export terror and disrupt peace in India.
This sort of a thing has been going on because Pakistan wants to destabilize now the Jammu province area, because Kashmir now it is journey free from terrorists who are there. Yesterday also we had that The Kulgam encounter, 6 terrorists have been eliminated. And people over there are now very alert. And moment any terrorist takes any shelter anywhere, they come around and inform the Jammu Kashmir police. Here also, Jammu region also, the Jammu Kashmir police is on it, and their intelligence wing is on it to identify the underground, overground workers and all those who are giving shelter to these people over there. And soon you will see that these terrorists who are involved, whether it is here, whether it is in Doda, whether it is in Rajouri, Poonch and all these people who are involved in giving shelter to these terrorists, they will be brought to book, because now the time is there to get hold of all these overground, underground workers and break this nexus of support to the terrorists. Once that is done, all these terrorists who are here operating in Jammu region, you will find that they will be eliminated by encounters sooner or later.
Despite international condemnation and the designation of groups like the TRF as terrorist organizations by India in 2023, Islamabad continues to nurture and deploy these proxies to wage its asymmetrical warfare. Such actions not only endanger lives but also aim to destabilize the socio-economic fabric of Jammu and Kashmir. The global community must recognize and condemn Pakistan's role in perpetuating this cycle of violence and hold it accountable for its ongoing support of terrorism.
Moving on, the minorities in Pakistan are facing persecution as Hindu girls are being forcibly abducted and converted to Islam. Human rights organizations have now taken up the issue and raised their voices at international platforms to protect the remaining minority Hindus as well as Christians and Sikhs. We have this report.
What we want, when we want.
This protest by the Sindhi Foundation at the Broken Chair in front of the United Nations in Geneva highlighted the case of Priya Kumari, a minor Hindu girl who has been missing for the past 3 years from Pakistan's Sindh province. This protest took place alongside the UN Human Rights Council's 56th session. The protesters have called on the international community, especially the United Nations, to conduct an independent investigation regarding the matter.
I came all the way from Washington DC to the Switzerland, especially for Priya Kumari. 3 years ago, she was disappeared. Info disappeared, forcefully disappeared in Sindh province of Pakistan. She was only 7 years old. Still, we don't know where she is, but there are speculation that the Sindhis, feudal lords, Shahs and their supporters, Pakistani military, they disappear her. What is the purpose? Why they disappear her? Why are disappearing our daughters? The reason is the Sindhi Hindus living in the Sindh, but they trying to forcefully to kidnap them, ransom, or they should leave the Sindh.
A Sindhi political activist from Manchester, UK, Maqbool Channa, also joined the protest. The protesters criticized the Pakistani army, asserting that despite branding themselves as the world's most formidable intelligence agency, they have failed to find a missing minor girl.
Army staff, I'm just asking you that why you are weak.
They also alleged that the military was responsible for her disappearance.
The Pakistan Army claims that ISI is the world's strong intelligence agency. From 3 years, she's kidnapped. She's in Sakhar. We know, everybody knows, she's adopted by Shah family. But they don't want to release the agencies, the police, the army, where they are. I'm asking Chief of Army Staff, General Asim Munir, you claim that you are a very most powerful person, and agencies, your agencies like ISI, world's most. So where is the Priya Kumari? From 3 years. Why she's kidnapped? What's the problem to not release because she's a Hindu, because she's from poor family.
Priya Kumari's story is sadly all too common. In Pakistan, there is a rising number of cases where young Hindu girls are kidnapped, coerced into converting, and married off against their wishes. Christians, Hindus, and other religious minorities often face systematic discrimination and violence in Pakistan. They are subjected to social, economic, and political marginalization, which limits their access to education, employment, and legal protection. Incidents of forced conversions, abductions, and blasphemy accusations are not rare, creating a climate of fear and insecurity among these communities.
Massive protests erupt in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Swat Valley and Orakzai district against the government's planned military offensive named Operation Azm-e-Ishtihkam. Thousands voiced their opposition, fearing the operation will lead to widespread violence and displacement. Demonstrators, including political leaders and activists, demand an end to what they call excessive military measures and advocate for peaceful resolutions. Our report will tell you more.
In a powerful display of unity, the residents of Swat Valley and Orakzai district, part of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, vocally opposed the military operation named Azm-e-Ishtihkam. Demonstrators carried placards with messages like "No to war" and "Peaceful dialogue, not military might." The protesters expressed deep fears that the offensive aimed at rooting out militants would result in widespread violence and disruption. Political leaders, human rights activists, and ordinary citizens joined the protest, highlighting concerns over potential civilian casualties, displacement, and long-term socio-economic damage.
जब भी इस मुल्क में डॉलरों की जब जरूरत पड़ती है ना, तो वो ऑपरेशन का नाम दे देते हैं. वो उसका मेन ग्राउंड भी पख्तूनख्वा होता है, पख्तून होता है, पख्तून बेल्ट है. पख्तून बेल्ट में खासकर ट्राइबल एरिया, जब इसके और तो उनको कोई इमदाद नहीं दे रहा है, ये बहाने बनाते हैं कोई किसी न किसी तरीके से कि हम इस मुल्क को मतलब पैसे लाए, डॉलर लाए. ये देखो आप लोग देखे, जब जंगे तो हमने भी किया, अपने मतलब खानदानों में देखा, हमने भी मतलब लड़ाई की है. हमारे पास तो रोटी के लिए पैसे भी नहीं थे. ये किस तरह जंग है जब इसको पैसा दोनों तरफ से ठीक ठाक मिलता है, चाहे वो मिलिटेंट का नाम देता है या रियासत वाले जो होते हैं वो बाहर जजीरे बनाते हैं हमारे नाम पे, और यहाँ गरीब लोग पिस रहे हैं, उनको रोजी नहीं मिला, उनके घर तबाह हो रहे हैं, उनके सब कुछ बर्बाद हो, वो शिफ्ट हो रहे हैं. पहले तो जो जंगे होते थे मुहाजिरीन होते थे, अभी नाम उन्होंने चेंज किया मुतासरीन. ये कौन सा जंग होता है? ये क्या तरीका है? दुनिया में किसी मुल्क में ये तरीका नहीं है कि इसको मुतासरीन का नाम दे इस तरह जंग करते हैं. दुनिया में किसी मुल्क में नहीं, चाहे मुस्लिम ममालिक या दूसरे ममालिक है.
Previous military operations in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa have led to significant loss of life and property. Residents fear that the offensive could lead to large-scale displacement as seen in the past operations. The Pakistani government, led by Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, maintains that the operation is aimed at terrorists. However, the military has been accused of extrajudicial killings and targeting innocent civilians under the guise of operations against the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. Altaf Hussain, the founder and leader of the Muttahida Qayyumi movement, has vehemently condemned the government's decision to initiate the military operation. In a recent video message, Hussain demanded that the government and the army halt the operation, claiming it targets Pashtuns under the pretext of combating the Taliban.
बुलारा पख्तूनों का खून और मत बहाओ. ऑपरेशन की आड़ में तालिबान किसने बनाए थे? फौजियों तुमने बनाए थे. आज उन्हीं का नाम लेकर तुम फिर खैबर पख्तूनख्वा की आवाम को आग और खून में नहलाना चाहते हो, हम तुम्हें ऐसा नहीं करने देंगे।
Since 2003, Pakistan has witnessed more than 80,000 deaths, including civilians, soldiers and militants, due to terrorist attacks and military counter-terrorism operations. The ethnic Pashtun community in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has borne the brunt of these conflicts, with over 6 million displaced and thousands missing. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, a remote northwestern province near the Afghan border, has seen an increase in deadly attacks over the past 2 years, mostly blamed on Islamist extremist groups including Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan and affiliates of Islamic State. Islamabad has accused neighboring Afghanistan of providing safe havens for the groups operating in Pakistan, a claim Kabul denies.
Human rights violations in Pakistan's Balochistan province remain a grave concern, marked by enforced disappearances, extrajudicial killings, arbitrary arrests and suppression of free expression. Recently in Quetta, the abduction of Zahir Ahmed Baloch sparked massive protests led by families of other missing persons. The peaceful demonstration turned violent when Pakistani security forces launched a baton charge, resulting in severe injuries and arrests. This clash underscores the ongoing crisis of enforced disappearances in Balochistan. A report.
In
the heart of Balochistan's Quetta, a family's desperate cry for justice has become the rallying call for an entire community. On June 27, Zahir Ahmed Baloch disappeared, reportedly abducted by Pakistani security forces. His disappearance has sparked a wave of protests, with his family leading a relentless sit-in on Sairab Road for over 11 days, demanding his safe return. This movement reached a crescendo with a massive protest rally starting from Sairab Sessions Court and culminating at Balochistan University. The rally drew a diverse crowd, including families of other missing persons, student organizations, political parties, and concerned citizens of Quetta. Holding photographs of the disappeared and placards calling for their safe return, the protesters highlighted the enduring crisis of enforced disappearances in Balochistan.
फैमिली का कहना है कि ज़हीर बलोच एक सरकारी मुलाजिम है, पोस्ट ऑफिस में पिछले 15 सालों से वो अपनी सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं। इससे पहले इनके घर पे भी 2-3 दफ़ा छापा आया है मुख्तलिफ जो है इंटेलिजेंस इदारों की तरफ से, और ज़हीर बलोच को जो है धमकियाँ भी दी गई थी कि आपको हम उठा लेंगे। और बिल आखिर 27 जून को 1 बजे के टाइम जब उन्होंने दफ्तर से छुट्टी की, घर कॉल किया कि मैं घर आ रहा हूँ, लेकिन उसके बाद घर नहीं पहुँचे। मुख्तलिफ CCTV जो फुटेज वगैरह हैं उससे ट्रैक करने की कोशिश की है, लेकिन अपने जॉब से निकलने के बाद सदापर टर्मिनल से गुजरने के बाद आगे से उनका कोई पता नहीं चल रहा। पुलिस में भी FIR कराई गई, शिकायतें लेकर भी गए हैं वहाँ पे लवाहिकीन, लेकिन मजबूर होकर इंसाफ ना मिलने की वजह से अब सरेआब रोड का जो मेन शाहरा है वहाँ पे धरना दिए हुए बैठे हुए हैं।
Tensions escalated as the peaceful protest was met with violence. Pakistani police launched a baton charge against the demonstrators, causing severe injuries and arresting many. This brutal crackdown has drawn widespread condemnation and further fueled the outcry.
क्या खवातीन तक को इन्होंने नहीं छोड़ा, खवातीन को मारा है इन्होंने और सब लड़कों को उठा कर लेके मार मार 10 किलोमीटर के रास्ते से ऊपर ये लोग सेवल वर्दी वाले भी है, सेवल वर्दी वाले भी है जो कि पुलिस नहीं है, इनके साथ इनके बीच में ISI और MI के बंदे मौजूद है सेवल वर्दी में। सेवल वर्दी वाले भी हमें मार रहे थे, कुत्तों को मार ये लोग हमें खुद कहते हैं कि हम लोग एजेंट हो। तुम लोग कौन सच्ची हो? हम गद्दार हैं। हाँ मैं बागी हूँ। हम जुल्म के खिलाफ बागी है। हम नाइंसाफी के खिलाफ बागी है। हम रियासती दहशतगर्दी के खिलाफ बागी है।
Baloch rights activists have taken to the social media platform X to allege that the defense forces tortured protesters in Quetta. Such protests are not uncommon in Balochistan. Recently, a sit-in protest camp led by the Voice for Baloch Missing Persons, demanding the safe return of missing individuals, completed its 5,500 day outside the Quetta Press Club. The grim reality in Balochistan is underscored by a harsh military crackdown that has resulted in thousands of disappearances over the years. Global media have repeatedly highlighted the discovery of hundreds of bodies believed to be those of suspected separatists and political activists, suggesting extrajudicial killings by Pakistani security forces. A recent report by PANK, the human rights wing of the Baloch National Movement, documented 19 cases of torture, 90 enforced disappearances, and 3 extrajudicial killings in May 2024 alone. This persistent state repression aims to silence the voices of the oppressed in this impoverished region. The families of the disappeared endure immense suffering, living in constant uncertainty about their loved ones' fates. Many relatives have died with the anguish of never knowing what happened to their missing family members, passing away with the pain of unfulfilled hopes and unanswered questions.
And with that, we come to the end of this edition of Newsweek South Asia. We'll be back next week with more news, views, and analysis from the subcontinent. Meanwhile, do keep writing to us at nwsa@anin.com. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of the entire production team of Newsweek South Asia. Goodbye and take care.